What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Get this, Deontay Wilder makes fresh retirement comments after the Tyson Fury trilogy defeat. Tyson Fury inflicted 2 defeats on Deontay Wilder during the pair's trilogy battle. Deontay Wilder could hang up his gloves from boxing following his trilogy bout defeat to Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder has suggested that he's considering retirement from boxing following the defeat to Tyson Fury in the pair's trilogy bout. Fury returned from retirement to face the Bronze Bomber, who was undefeated prior to facing the Manchester fighter. With the first contest ending in a controversial draw, the WBC heavyweight belt would then be handed to Fury following his victory in the rematch, and made it back-to-back wins in October when he won a trilogy bout in Las Vegas as well. That leaves Fury as the only man to defeat Deontay Wilder during his career, with the pair having cemented their boxing legacy. However, with the pair's feud coming to a close following years of focusing on each other, Wilder has hinted that he could hang up the gloves in order to pursue other endeavors. He said, "It's mixed feelings because ultimately I have accomplished all my goals in the sport. I told my daughter when she was 1 year old that I'd be champion and I'd be able to support her beyond her belief," he told Kevin Hart on an episode of Cold as Balls on the Laugh Out Loud network. He said, "I've done that. There's a lot of things that I've accomplished that I feel I have to prove to anyone because I've already proven myself. Should I push forward? Should I give it a go one more time? Or should I just retire and focus on the other things that I already have, other than the things that I want to get into?" Wilder remarkably, of course, won the Olympic bronze medal in the 2008 Olympics. So he was an Olympian, okay, a placed Olympian. All right, you only have 3 places, and he was the 3rd. Okay, so not only is he an accomplished Olympic medalist, he was also a WBC champion with 10 title defenses to his name. He has a high knockout ratio, and that is, to me, is me counterpunching, is a suggestion that he may retire. I don't like that at all. And I do question, where did his energy go? Because as far as Malik Scott, himself, him being motivated, him being in love with the sport of boxing, you guys remember that was just like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And his newfound, as a matter of fact, let's look, because he did say something similar to him coming back into the sport. Let me find the article for you. Matter of fact, that was last week, because I just done a video on it. So I'm thinking, what between now, which is Monday, or was it yesterday? Okay, yeah, that was Tuesday. So it was Monday. This came out. And he said, "Hey, I learned something from the Tyson Fury fight." Okay. And, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, well, you said all that. Now you're going to turn around and lose focus and think about retiring. Look, Deontay Wilder can't retire off being defeated by one fighter. Because if he did that, it shows you a lot about him as a person. He could say, well, he could count his losses. He's rich. He's made the money that he probably would have got if he would have fought Joshua. Let's be real. So he has accomplished those things. He has. But I don't understand where the energy left from. Like, where did the energy go? The energy is like, I'm in love with the sport. I think I can do this, and I think I can do that. And, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, what happened? What happened to all this? Because him saying, well, hey, I can hang it up, and I've got everything I've wanted, and you haven't. I thought you wanted one champion, one face, one name. For one, you got to get the fucking belt back. For two, you got to unify the belts when you get the belt back or the belts back. So let's look at it like this. Let's say Alexander Usyk does fight Tyson Fury and beats him. Okay, and then that fight becomes a high priority for Deontay Wilder. You would think he would want that fight, but now after reading what I heard, I don't think he would. I hope this is just something he's pondering on, maybe because his daughter was there and he really didn't want to talk about the savagery of what he wanted to do in the sport. But I just read on him about him saying that, hey, I've learned something. I'm still in love with the sport, yada, yada, yada. Now you're saying, well, hey, I've done everything I needed to do. He sounded like somebody that just got married. Right? So I'm thinking like, whoa, what's the deal? You know, and then it just baffles me, but I hope he doesn't resort to losing because, you know, that meant that your whole career was based off a loss. It all was because of one fighter, and it all because you couldn't beat one fighter. That's given Tyson Fury way too much energy to be, oh, I think I should retire now after having one hell of a fight with this man that lasted 11 rounds. It lasted 4 more rounds than the fight before. Shit, so he definitely got better. Hell, it was a better outcome. Yeah, he got knocked out, but I mean, come on. He dropped Tyson Fury twice. So why give Tyson Fury all that honor, all that power, instead of just, hey, let me pick myself up. Let me get with my new trainer. And of course, this was his one time, you know what I mean? Which he only got one chance to prove himself. I don't like it. I mean, but at the end of the day, you know, to be fair, to look on the other side, I'm not the ones taking the punches either. I mean, Tyson Fury wouldn't go on upside my head, right? So I wouldn't get punched from Tyson Fury. But it does show you if he's considering retirement, that's just really him. You could look at it admitting that Tyson Fury, first of all, punched harder than he said he did. And second of all, made more of an impact on those ass whoopings that he took from Tyson Fury that would want him to retire, because those losses don't mean that he's done everything that he wanted to do. The biggest thing that he wanted to do in the sport of boxing was unify. One champion, one face, one name. It's funny how people forget shit when they're talking about when it comes to trying to prove a point. Especially if that thing they forgot or they don't mention contradicts the point they're trying to make. And I think that it would be sad if Deontay Wilder did leave the sport of boxing, because he just got started. He just got started. I mean, it's nobody's fault that you fucking fought Fury 3 times. He could have fought Wilder. He could have fought Joshua. He could have fought White. He could have fought Parker. He could have fought Ruiz. There's a lot of fucking Joe Joyces out there. You got Daniel Dubois, Frank Sanchez. You have so many different fights that could be made. What if Charles Martin beats Luis Ortiz? Okay, now you got another problem, because the one legitimate loss that win that you had twice, and you beat Luis Ortiz twice, now you got to take him out. So now you got not only you got to beat the guy that you beat, but now you got to beat him too, because he beat him too. And speaking of Luis Ortiz, that's a guy that's much older than Deontay Wilder. Do you see him quit just because he lost twice? Counterpunch. So no, I don't co-sign this. I don't recommend this, and I don't like this from Deontay Wilder. So I hope it's just him talking shit. I hope, because we need him back into the sport of heavyweight boxing. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder hinting at retirement. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.